Hey, what's up, people? Jason DeBiss. I'm back. This is episode 29. The late, not the late, the great Daron Forbes is in the house, and the episode starts right now.
Hey,
All right, here we go. And guess who's back? Dun, 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 dun. Back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? By popular demand, it is my duty, my honor, my privilege to reintroduce to you guys the great Daron Forbes. What's good, woman?
hey, what's cooking? Glad
No,
to be back.
oh, what a nice background. This is you got a fireplace in case this quarantine goes to Christmas.
No, no, no,
you
no,
got
no,
you got your Michael Jackson mask.
no. This is to play volleyball in.
No doubt. Yeah. Hey, before we got in the air, you mentioned and I'm glad you told me this because I feel like as much as I'm in it, I feel like the Wizard of Oz. I don't know anything. Um, and AVP canceled New York City, right?
Yes, they did
Yeah.
for
And
June.
yeah. And that's I mean, it's a mixed blessing for me because last year I was coaching like three or four teams, and now I'm only like coaching one player. So it's one of those things where, it's Rob McLean and of course of Rafu plays. But I had my tickets for the first week of June. They moved it back, and I was like, should I move the tickets? And I'm like, no, let's just wait and see what happens. And I'm glad I did. So this way, administratively, it's not a pain in the butt. Cool. So what does Manhattan Beach look like? You live in Manhattan Beach. Is it empty? Or is there a bunch of
Um,
people running around?
it's not too bad right now. The sun is out. The weather is heating up. I live on a busy street, as you know. It's one of the main streets that goes through Manhattan Beach. I'm really concerned it's going to get ugly this weekend with people, families walking, bikers, runners. I've already experienced it last night. I was coming back from across town, and I was going through Hermosa back into Manhattan, and bikes and pedestrians are just jumping out in the street to get away from other people, and they're not paying attention. So it's um it's kind of quiet right now outside, but I know it's going to heat up and it's going to get a little crazy out there. So everybody be safe. If you're out this weekend, please be safe because I don't really want to see anybody getting hit by a car. There was a couple of near accidents last weekend right in front of my house,
Yeah.
and it's because people aren't paying attention. People are jumping out, and
Well, I don't
so
know. I don't know what the ratio or the scale on that is, Duran. I okay. I live pretty close here. I live in Hermosa Beach, and
right,
at nighttime and late afternoon, I see people just revving like 60 miles an hour in a 25 zone,
right,
blowing stop signs and this and that. So it is, you're right, it is. You got kids running out in the street and this and that. And sometimes, like your block, sometimes it gets quiet and you have this nice wide avenue type street where kids get to play in the streets sometimes. But you're right. When with people losing their mind and having to stay in their homes and social
yes.
distancing, people are experiencing cabin fever, right?
Well,
So,
they experienced it last weekend, and they were all out. And I think the most dangerous part is when you get a family of four, and there's a couple of kids tagging behind the mom and dad, and the mom or the dad, veer out into traffic to get away from somebody or to go around somebody, and the kids follow, and they're not paying attention and they're not looking. So it's going to get dangerous. People just need to be really safe and aware of their surroundings.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Same
With the
thing,
beach being, because we don't have the beach and we don't have the strand,
right?
everybody's pushed up on, Ocean Avenue, which is the alley,
Yeah.
and then Manhattan Avenue. So it's not a place where people should go and go walking and jogging and running and biking this weekend.
No, no doubt. Also, yeah, also the belt too, where people usually run. There's a lot of walking during there, but like I gotta give our neighborhood some credit. There is a huge social distance thing. People are giving each other space. Everyone's wearing masks where they go, or at least covering their face. I think we have a unique opportunity to let it run its course faster than most. It's not like New York City where everyone's like piled on top of each other. You got millionaires living on top of each other. So
Right,
so it's indiscriminate or
right, right.
dispassionate of wealth. This disease, and that's why everybody's all of a sudden saying, "Oh, we're in this together." Of course, it's in it together because it friggin' affects you. so I think we're doing collectively a better job than most. Would you agree?
Yes and no. I think that there's times when I go out and I see people wearing masks, but there's a lot of times I go out and people are not wearing masks around here. So it's pretty devastating that people just can't put a mask on when they're outside walking, running, biking. Put that mask on if
Yeah,
you're going to be
or at least a face covering, right? Is that
yes.
yeah, something.
Like here, all you gotta do is put a little bandana on.
Yeah, and
Not my
I know
no.
people are saying that, oh, it doesn't prevent you from getting it, but it's, if you have it, it prevents you from giving it.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
and to quote the great Max Kellerman, I'm actually gonna do a little Instagram live thing here. Just cue you on my thing. Say hi. Um, I might be killing our bandwidth, but I'm gonna do this for a couple of seconds. That's Daron Forbes. So I'm quoting a mixed martial artist, Max Holloway, and ESPN commentator, Max Kellerman. He said, treat the disease as if you have it
Right.
and you don't want to infect anybody else. And that's the best way to do some good modern prevention and to do the things we're doing until this thing either runs its course or whatever solution they're going to have.
Right. Agreed. Totally agreed. 100%.
Yeah. So what's going on with Beach Volleyball National Events? What do you have still scheduled? And talk to me a little bit about that. Floor is yours.
Okay. Well, we've got quite a bit going on. First of all, we have a plan. Our plan is listed up on our website. We have two websites. We have Get Notice Beach Volleyball and we have BVNE. And on both websites, we're listing what our plan is. And our plan is this. We are moving forward with our June 6th, 7th showcase. If we wait until May 30th and then open up the gates and say, hey, we're having a showcase, that's about a week. We don't have time to plan for it. So we would rather plan. And then if we can't have it and we have to push it back, then it's easier. Everybody that's signing up is on board. They know that one, they can either get a full refund, two, they can get pushed and save their spot to the next showcase. So if the June 6th, 7th showcase doesn't pan out and we have to push it back, it'll be pushed back to July 1st and 2nd because those are the dates that we already had on the books. And then even further than that, if for some reason July 1st and 2nd doesn't happen, we can push it back to our July 27th through 30th championship tournament. As you know, we were a national, we have, national tournaments all over the United States. And we had to stop our bid events early.
Right.
So that championship tournament is now open to everyone on July 27th through 30th.
And that was
So
originally when?
it was originally July 27th through 30th, but you could earn bids in other states,
Right.
and that got cut off short. So if you wanted to play in that one and you didn't earn a bid, now's your chance. You can go in and sign up early. So, and then if we don't know, we have a plan. Our plan is if all these dates don't pan out and we have to push it back to August or September, we have dates all throughout the year. So through the remainder of 2020. So our plan is we plan on it. If we can't have it, we'll know a week before, and then we will get the information out to everybody, and we'll offer refunds and we'll a refund, or we'll put you into the next tournament.
I like that. I
Yeah.
also like that it's very important that it's very important, or very smart, should I say, that I would rather keep the date and then cancel it. I think you're very smart. I'd rather keep the date
Right.
than cancel it and then find out that you can make the date available and then you're kind of like hurrying, you're scrambling just to make something happen. So I think it's a very, very smart way of you doing this.
Yeah, and we can't plan with a week's notice. We can send out an email, and the ones that were planning to come, out on a week's notice might not be able to get a partner. So it's better for everybody to plan, and then if we have to push it back, like I said, we'll be pushing it back. But in addition to that, because we know that we're treading on thin water, and there's just so much unknown, we created a player highlight profile program. And what that is it's a way to continue to get these athletes noticed
Yeah.
while we're in downtime. And as we venture out and we are able to get back to our normal programming and have tournaments, we're still going to offer this program. So the way it works is if you go to getnoticebeachvolleyball.net, that's gmbb.net, right on the first page, there's going to be an information telling these athletes how to send us your video. So they send us their video, and then from there we turn around and we put it on YouTube. Once we have it on YouTube, we turn around and we send those videos after we get so many every week. We turn around and we send an email to the college coaches, because the college coaches still need to see who's out there. And this is one collective place where we've decided we can put all these people in one place, and the coaches can go. It's kind of like they're shopping. They can go and they look and they see.
Yeah, one-stop shopping.
Yeah, they can see the athletes that are truly interested, that truly want to be there, because if they're not going to have their video on our website. So the ones that are really interested in still getting noticed, they're sending us their emails, and then we're taking it another step further. We have various stages, and then the second stage to that player highlight program is I'm interviewing these players, because I've been talking to the college coaches, and they said, well, we still want to, we'd love to see these players. We'd love to talk to them. We can't. We're in a down period right now. So what we came up with is I'm doing an interview, and I'm interviewing the players.
Yep.
And I'm asking them a series of questions. So that way the coaches can see them, they can listen to them, they can hear what their story is. The players can sell themselves. It's their time to say, hey, this is what I bring to the table. And then we put it up with their video on our Get Noticed Beach Volleyball website. So now they're going to have a landing page. Each player will have their own landing page on Get Noticed Beach Volleyball. So if you guys were just hearing about this, I highly recommend you get your videos in. Right now it's free. We don't know when we start getting overwhelmed, we'll probably have to start charging for it.
Yeah.
But until the numbers start getting really, really high, it's free right now. So take advantage of it.
That's cool. That's cool. Speaking of Get Noticed tournaments, one of my favorite ones were the last 2 Februaries. Like last February, we had logistical issues. We had to work around some construction, and
Right.
we made that happen. And it was a great turnout and high quality players. It was a nice showcase of the players who are already committed, and not to mention the slew of talented girls who weren't committed. And I'm like, you know me, I talk to everybody. So I'm like, so where are you going to school? Whatever. And it's written on their calf, but I like to ask the obvious. And they're like, oh, I'm not committed yet. And I'm like,
I know, right?
I'm like, Gus, you got the recruiters there, right? You got Gus, the assistant coach from USC. John Mayer showed up for a little bit. Missouri State, very, very capable coach there. And I'm like, do you know that girl's not committed? It's not. And I'm like, I'm not trying to sales pitch one of the girls from our own club, right? Just reminding everybody, you're not just the founder of Beach Volleyball National Events or Get Noticed Beach Volleyball. You are the program director for Endless Summer. So of course, we want them to look at our girls too. So, but me, for some reason, if I'm covering it, like doing color commentary and play-by-play, I have to be objective. So I'm not back at the actual tournament. I'm not backing any horses. I just like what I see. And I'm like, John, I know you got a bunch of backward defenders. You're looking for a big girl. Look at that Amazon over there.
Right.
So I liked last year because there were construction issues and logistical issues of getting equipment out there, sensitive items and whatnot. We made it happen. And now, Daron, I bring your attention the year before.
Yeah, and
The year before we
enough,
had rain. Do you remember we had rain going diagonally? It was going diagonally this way.
yes, it was for 3 days we had rain and wind and cold. But I'll take the construction any day over the weather. That was not so bad.
Oh, wow. Okay, someone just sent me a message saying our audio keeps going on and off. For me, I have a recording device. I'm just trying to make sure the important thing is it's on that. And I think my mic has a little bit of pop on it. And that's okay. All right, we're okay. And yeah, when you get a chance, ask Tony to go on his phone just to make sure the sound quality is okay, because we're getting there's a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I like I said, the year before, we had people drying their clothes on car heaters. It was raining. The balls were soaking wet. They felt like bowling balls. And we made it happen. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because your ability to adapt and improvise has been uncanny under conditions where a lot of people like just call it, just call it. We're not doing this. And you're like, the thing I like about you've never been a can't person. You've always been, I don't want to hear can. I want to hear can.
We'll
show me.
Figure it out.
Yeah, show me can. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so hey, last time you came on my show, you were talking about the All-American voting, and
Yes.
would you get a phone call from them?
No, I didn't didn't get a phone call from them. I'm disappointed I didn't. I was hoping that I would. I think, that's something that as soon as the crisis with the COVID is over, that we'll be looking back into to discuss. I did get some information from some very high people that they're willing to talk with me on, help me maybe go to Kathy DeBoer at the ABCA and talk with her about it. So, right now it's not a good time. We're in a crisis situation. So anytime you're in a crisis situation, it's never a good time to try and get something corrected that maybe wasn't done properly or above board or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. But I will be revisiting that as soon as this crisis is over, because I never want to take care of any business while a crisis is happening. So that I'll be revisiting after
Yeah,
after COVID is gone
yeah, of course,
at a more appropriate time.
yep, absolutely. And I actually, well, for me, since I kind of do whatever I want, sometimes to actually communicate with people, you have to throw it out there, right?
That's true.
For example, if I have a grievance, if I have a grievance with someone, there's two ways I can do it. I can reach out to them, and maybe they get back to me. Maybe they blow me off, or maybe they don't. They just ignore I'm not there. Or I have a podcast, put it out on Front Street, let other people hear it, and then they got to come to you. And now,
Right.
and people think that's not the right way to do it, but if you tried the right way, and people decide whether they don't want to talk to you or not, then that's not the right way.
Right.
right way. Hindsight's is really 2020, right? It's retrospectively you can only look. You can't do present or future tense because you really don't know. So I mean, I'm glad you did it that way, and you did it in the sense where you weren't casting any aspersions on anybody. You were just talking about a system of fairness, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was a real thing, and it would have. I guarantee you, Daron, it would have never been okay. Hold on one second. It froze, but it's good the last 5 minutes. All right. But that meeting would have never taken place if you didn't mention it. And I mean, I know you're doing this thing near future, distant future, what have you, COVID notwithstanding, but good job on your part. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So how's Presley?
Surprisingly, not being able to go to the beach, play beach volleyball. She's doing well. She's doing really well. I do think that having school most days is helping. So, she has homework, she has projects, she has papers, she's doing a lot of research. She still has to get all her daily work in. So that's been a big help. And then she does have summer school. We already had that planned before all this happened. And by the way, is at FIU, so Florida International University. And she just got a text message today from the school, just a blanket text, not from her coach, not from anybody. And they just said it's very possible they will not be returning in August, that all classes will be online. So that's something to think about. And then not to steer away from that, but the other thing is they're also talking about Save Our Sport, not only our sport, but all the other sports. There's going to be a lot of schools out there that are going to lose funding as a result of this. So if you guys see anything that you need to sign, petitions to save our sport, I urge you to go ahead and sign them because we desperately need it. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm going to decline a call. Someone was calling me.
Yeah, someone was messaging me on on Facebook Messenger too, and I'm just like, go away.
I'm using my phone. My phone goes nonstop. I get text messages, emails, Instagram. Kids are constantly asking me what's going on. So, but getting back to what I was just talking about with colleges, we do know for sure as of this morning, FIU didn't say it was for sure. They just said it's very possible that in August that we might go to online. We might continue to keep everything online.
Right. Yeah. And well, first of all, on the positive note, I'm glad that they decided the red shirt. I had John Mayer on the podcast, and who was the head coach of Loyola Marymount University, and I was like, everybody that everyone should get a redo. This should not cost anybody's eligibility. This is not a natural thing, and you got girls that worked hard all year just for this moment, and now that this moment's come, you this whole thing of like, too bad for you, a tough ash, and I for me is the wrong answer,
Right.
and for someone like you that's not about this whole can't stuff.
Right.
We're all about that can. Um, I'm glad they're doing it that way because Presley, which goes to my other part. That was the good part. The bad part is Presley's been snake bitten by opportunities. If memory serves me correctly, she was at the University of Hawaii first, and
Yeah.
she was kind of like the bottom of the pair system five, in or out with an opportunity to play, and didn't feel like she got enough playing time there, and lost 2 years, right? Lost 1 year.
Two.
She lost two. So now
Yeah.
you got someone who only has 2 years left. She worked
Right.
really, really hard. She's physically stronger. Her volleyball IQ got higher, if that's even possible. She was always a high IQ player. Well, it's always possible. But and now the springs come, and it's her turn to reach up and grab that brass ring and takes what belongs to her. Boom, COVID-19. I
Right.
felt and feel so bad for her, and the reason why I even brought her up is I just hope she's doing well in that respect because any of you listening out there that's trained for a sport on an elite level where your conditioning has to be tip top, where your nutrition has to be tip top, where your psychology has to be tip top. All of
Right.
these things under the premise that you can actually play. You have the skill set to play. I'm not just right. This
Right.
isn't just playing. So this is not a one semester thing, and it's not an in season thing for the people that don't fully grasp this. This is a whole school year thing, particularly for sports that are spring in the spring.
Right.
Um,
Right.
which
You train all
as a
year
former
round for
men's
this.
volleyball player, I can tell you it's a 12-month process or
Right.
10-month process. So
Yeah.
um, if you put so much time in and you're dog tired and you're a full-time student, you still got to do your homework. You just got taxed by a 2 a day, in your practice, or a 3 a day for some people, as maybe as a punishment for some people. And you go through all of that just to lead to this moment. Give them a redo, and I'm so glad that she's got her 2 years back.
Corona
Because
redshirt year. That's it. That's what they're calling it. Corona redshirt. She ended on a good note. She was happy. Let's see. I keep getting notifications. Can you hear me while those notifications are
yep,
up?
yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you. Yeah,
I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday before. Might have been Wednesday because they were going to travel Thursday, and she says, we might not be able to go. And then she got the text that her and her partner, she was put with a girl named Maddie, and Maddie was a lefty, so it was a perfect marriage because Presley loves to play the left, and Maddie was a lefty, so she finally got her shot at being a left side player and playing with a lefty, and they were going to go in playing FSU in the 4 seed. So she left with her head held high, a lot of satisfaction that she fought her way out of the 5 spot into the 4 spot. She was in the 6 spot, the 5 spot, the 6 spot, the 5 spot, and then going to go into the FSU tournament in the 4 spot. So she was pretty happy about that. So she left feeling a little bit of satisfaction. Not to mention that it was a very great year for her. I mean, it was a very short, but she was having a great time.
yeah. Oh, no doubt. I'm glad she did that. And then in sports, when you separate yourself from the other athletes, as a superior athlete or just playing better, that's where meritocracy comes into play. If you're just better, you're
Right.
just better. And a coach won't have a very long career if he's not playing his best players.
Right.
And it is one of those situations where if it's her and an upperclassman, if you're a freshman and you and the upperclassmen are qualified as close enough,
Right.
Ty's going to go to the upperclassmen, right? There's going to be a sense of loyalty. You want your seniors to play and this and that. So,
Right.
so Presley probably asked herself, "What do I have to do to get more? Sorry, to get more playing time?" And that's what she had to do. She's like, "I just got to be better than them. I have to be a whole step better. I have to be a whole level better."
Right. Yep.
And I was
That's right.
yeah, so cool. So she's staying in shape, working out of the house.
Oh yeah, we got a bike right on the front porch that we use in the morning, and we're using the hill for sprints. And yesterday, I don't know if you saw my story on Endless Summer, We went for a really beautiful walk. I'm not going to disclose where because I don't want them to shut it down.
Yeah, it's
But
all
you
mind your
can tell
business.
you can tell where it was once you look at the photos enough. It was in Playa del Rey, and we walked by the boats, and there was some great scenery. So we'll be doing that again today. So we're just trying to find little places to go and take our little walks together. It's not easy because everything's shut down.
Yeah, I know that. Yep. For me, again, thank God, I'm a concrete jungle person, so it's one of those situations where Kelly and I we're going to take a walk somewhere, and there's going to be no one around.
Right, right, right. And that's really hard to do
Yeah,
around here. That's why we get in the car and we try and drive someplace where there isn't a lot of people, but we're finding more and more that everywhere we go, it's just there's a lot of people. Because right here in front of my house, I mean, I'm going to do a time lapse for you this weekend, and I'll send it to you so you can see it and put it on one of your shows. Maybe you can start off one of your shows with my time lapse, so you can see just how crowded it's going to be on the weekend. So
yeah.
we won't even be going out this weekend. We get our exercise in during the week. On the weekends, we're home. We're working in the yard. We're sitting outside. Obviously, it's going to be a beautiful weekend, so we'll be sitting outside both days. But we'll do a time lapse for you so you can see just how busy it's going to be out front.
Oh, no doubt. So you are the founder of a major, if not the top, the very best as far as national events for juniors volleyball. You are the program director of of a program that leads the nation in recruitments per capita, commitments per capita. Uh,
Oh, I
um,
don't know if that's true. I think there's some other clubs out there that
well, there
might lead.
there are clubs that have more, but as far as our size and ratio or percentage per capita, it's us.
Yes, that's
Um,
true.
and you have a time, you find the time to be a full time volleyball mom.
Well,
Some
that's even
because there. Let me tell you something. There are volleyball moms out there who don't have this isn't their job. They're something else, and they do other
right.
things, and they're trying to be there for their daughter, and they don't know. They believe that this is some people. This is what this is what my daughter wants. This is what my daughter
Right.
wants, and there's some people. This is what I want for my daughter. She's gonna play. I played, and I want her to do great things. And then you have some people where they're lucky enough where there's both. I know
Right.
it, you know it. She's going to SC. She's going to Long Beach State. When you were watching your daughter come up and playing, was there a tournament or a match or a defining moment where you told yourself as a volleyball mom, my kid's gonna play D1 in college?
I'm not sure if there was one certain moment. There were many moments watching her over the years, and I think a lot of those moments were when she was very young and wanted to play in the opens. She was one of the first kids playing at 12, 13, 14-year olds in the opens. One of the opens that she played in that I remember very well. She played against Fallon Fonoy Moana in Santa Monica at Ocean Park, and it was an NVL, and they played. Presley played with her partner Sunny Villapando, and it was just for fun. It was just to go out there. That was their idea. They wanted to go and play with the big girls, and they got there and they were like, "Wow, these big girls are really big. Oh my God, look at these girls. They're strong and they can hit the ball hard." And the one girl that stood out to them was Fallon, and they were like, "Oh my God, let's play her." They don't know what they're asking for when they were saying they wanted to play her. Well, on their second round, they got to play her, and the fact that they held their own, they didn't stop. They did everything they possibly could. Obviously, they didn't win. I don't remember how many points they got, but Presley took a ball right here on the side of the face, and she turned around and looked at me and said, "Oh my God, that hurt so bad." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys wanted to play her." And she goes,
It's Fallon.
I'm gonna dig her. That was all she wanted to do. She didn't care if she got the kill after she dug her, but the whole rest of the game was she was gonna dig Fallon Floyd Wan's balls. And she's probably one of the hardest hitters on the sand. And Fallon went up to her afterwards and said, "Thanks for making me look bad, kid," because she was digging her balls. So that was probably one of the first times that I believed that she could play at a very high level.
Yeah.
Because I don't think beach volleyball was an NCAA or wasn't even in college yet. But I knew then that she was going to be able to play at a high level. She could play anybody. She
Yeah.
could take bullets from that girl. She could play anybody.
No, it's of course. Well, it's to me, it's the conflicting forces of getting what you want and then wanting what you get. Right
Right,
there, at the adult level, there are guys that they would love to play this Phil or whatever this person on center court, and then you see they find the speed of the ball um,
right.
is not maybe some for some players not leaps and bounds better, but a half level better. And it's like, wait a second, I didn't train for this. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have
You
someone
never
in
saw
practice
it. You never saw
moving
the
this
speed.
fast or whatever, and this and that and that. And I like that defining moment because Presley sometimes getting hit in the face and realizing how much it hurts, and then when it's done, she's still there and she's still on the
Right.
court and she's still playing and now she's digging balls. So she was someone that became immediately acclimated to the speed of the ball in the middle of the game, and that's definitely as a parent you're like, okay, this is who she is.
Oh, she
This is who
she had
she
never
is.
she had never had anybody hit a ball at her like that before.
You know, for me, it's and when I played indoor, for me, it was just like I'm warming up. I'm in Darmstadt, Germany, and a 93 was like our campaign year, 15-1 in record. We won Division One, and beating Baumholder. And for me, no matter who we played, we were the top seed. We played a last place team. I'm like, I just wish someone would hit me in the face. I just wish someone would take a ball, even in warm-ups. Maybe someone jump serves and I get decked, or maybe I'm just playing defense on the line, and I'm like, I just wish someone would hit me in the face because if someone hits me in the face, one, I don't have to worry about getting hit in the face. It's already happened, and now psychologically, I could just play volleyball instead of worrying about if a ball's too fast, or if my twitch reaction, or if my training takes over.
Right.
And I guess the more I train and the harder I train, and the more and like you said, iron sharpens iron. We always tell each other that. The
Right.
faster the ball moves, the more acclimated you are to the constant reps. When a game comes and someone actually hits a ball fast at you, you're not like, what was that? You're like, okay, this person could hit, but I've seen it before. You know,
Right. Right.
when you're watching a game, juniors, and just juniors is an example, and then like someone hits a ball and the other team just goes like this, like whoa, and you're like, okay, all right, they didn't train for that. Either they didn't see, they've never seen someone that hits like that. They've only seen it in training, and maybe it surprises them for that one play, or they're
Right.
just like, "Wow, I've never seen anyone. I've never seen this in training or that." And then you'll find out a few plays later if that's right.
Right.
Yeah. So that was one of my things in Germany. Just smack me right, just smack right between the eyes, right on the schnoz. So what are the how the have you talked to anybody else from the other clubs like Aaron Wexler or Schoonover or dare I say Bennett or anybody and how they're holding up?
I talked to Matt Olson down at Wave in San Diego, and I've
Uh-huh.
talked to Jeff Smith in San Diego, and I've talked to Aaron. I've talked to them all. They're just all really anxious. They're actually, some of them, not all of them, but a few of them have called me to find out what's your game plan. What do you have planned? So that's going back to we have a plan. So we wanted to let everybody know what our plan is, so that way they can plan. Because if somebody in the industry has an idea or just a plan, maybe that plan isn't perfect, or maybe it's not right for everybody, but it's a plan, and you can plan on this is what's going to happen, because whatever I say, this is what we're going to do. My word is my word. That's all I have. But we are, unfortunately, we're tied to this COVID-19, and we have to wait to see what that brings us. So we are in limbo, but we have a plan, and they're calling to find out what our plan is. So basically, they're holding up. They're doing online workouts. We are not doing online workouts. I'm having our kids do Instagram takeovers, because the coaches really thought that was a great idea, that they get to see the kids and hear them and stuff like that. So we're doing Instagram takeovers. This is kind of their downtime right now. They are still working out. I am still communicating with them, but they're this is unusual time. I mean, how do you get in a routine? How do you do an Instagram training? That's all your mental and everything like that. Maybe we'll come up with a game plan for next week. We'll do something, but for right now, we're just kind of we're sitting and we're having the kids do Instagram takeovers. Other people are, doing whatever they're doing on their Skypes and, working out the game plans. But everybody's hanging in there. Everybody's doing their own thing.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and for me, for on and off the on the court, I'm hearing similar stories, and I'm also seeing a bunch of fun videos. I saw Bill Kalinsky and I guess now Kelly Kalinsky, Kelly Larson. They were he was hitting down balls on the top of his from the top of his garage.
I saw that.
And the
I mean,
last one
people are
just,
getting
I
crazy
think the
out
last
there.
one took out the camera. Like the last hit took out the camera, and I was like, "Ooh, you on that Matrix?" She just had to. She was dodging like six packs for her life, you know.
Yeah.
And for me off the court, I wear a heavy heart. As you know, I'm from New York, and because everybody we mentioned everybody's kind of like piled on top of each other.
Right.
Um, I'm sad, and listen, when you have the number of deaths that almost match the number of cases in California, sooner or later you're gonna know someone personally who got it. Maybe not died from it, who got it. And one of my close friends got it, and he was in a hospital in Harlem. His name is I'll say his name later, but he you know, the hospital seems like the worst situation because it's if this is a moisture thing or kind of quasi airborne virus, if
Right.
one of them got it in the hospital and you people that go there to get, I don't know, maybe they roll the ankle or maybe they have chest pains, they're in danger of getting it. You know, they
Right.
come to the hospital, get treated for chest pains, come out with the COVID virus. So
Right.
so and he almost died. He's a diabetic, and he had difficulty breathing, and he told his he opened up online about it, and I'm very glad. So I wear kind of a heavy heart for him and some people that have to go through this,
Yes.
and and you're right. It's about weathering the storm, and it's also about taking care of the just very much like volleyball, taking care of the things you can control. Right.
Right.
You can take control
Right.
of your conditioning. If you can exercise, exercise. If you're drinking a lot of water to make sure everything passes through, through your system and not your lungs or whatever, then do that.
Right.
If social distancing, staying away from people or again treating yourself like you have it, um, those are very much like volleyball. We're all about controllables.
Right. And I think what everybody has to remember is, if you have a loved one like my dad, he fell down 2 weeks ago, and he lives in Gardena, and he fell down in Bonds, and we're not sure. They still weren't able to figure out why he fell down. He had a fainting spell, but he ended up in the hospital, and you can't go in with him. He went in by himself, and he's old. He doesn't understand what's going on, and people, if you get sick, you're going in alone. If your kids get sick, they're going in without you. If your husband or wife gets sick and they have to go into the hospital, no one's going with you. You're going all by yourself. So it's better to be safe than sorry than to have to deal with being separated from your loved one, and you can't go in the hospital with them. When they're sick, you cannot go in with them. So we experienced that firsthand with my dad, and because he's old and doesn't know what's going on, the nurses, because we couldn't be there, we decided to come home. And the nurses called and they said, "Can you talk to your dad? He's trying to leave, and we can't hold him down. We're gonna have to strap him down." And he actually got up and got dressed and made it to the front door at the emergency room in Gardena. He thought we left him there. He thought we didn't. We left him there. So this is very serious. So I hope that people, can continue to, use your face masks, wash your hands, social distancing. Um, I don't even go to my mom and dad when I go. I'm doing all my parents' shopping. I don't even go inside their house. I sterilize. I clean all their groceries before I take them, and we drop them off. We visit from outside. So I would rather visit with them at their house from outside than have them get sick and then have to not visit them at the hospital. So, I mean, it's just a reminder that, we have to be very careful for the elderly. People are out there saying, well, we need to get back to work. I need to get back to work. We all need to get back to work. But at some point we have to think of others. So everybody be safe out there when you guys are out there.
I also think on a state and federal level, I think that they have to hand out mandates that actually support us, right? They want people to stay home, but at the same time, your mortgage is due, and they expect you to pay that.
Right.
So how about chime in and say, hey, your mortgage is deferred for 6 months, you know? And for the
Well,
people who are renting, people have to pay their mortgage. Don't get rich off of people trying, that can't pay their rent when your mortgage got deferred. So I think, like you said, as a testament of us taking care of better care of each other, even the people who don't like big government has to know that there has to be some involvement from them. If they're handing out mandates that you can't do this, you can't do that, they got to do something for us too, because it's really in essence they're a large part of they should take a large responsibility of this outbreak or this pandemic in the first place. It's not completely on one person. I'm not trying to get
right.
political here, okay?
Right.
I can say that we avoided Ebola, and the virus is a lot deadlier than this. Because the government allowed people to do their jobs. So
Right.
if we're in the government right now, don't be out there, hand out some mandates, defer some mortgages, have an inflation freeze. Just make sure people, if you want people to live in their houses, they live. Houses is not the operative word here. Living,
Right.
being alive, quality of life versus the sanctity of life.
Right.
You're not even gonna have a home if everything stays the same and you want people to stay home.
We're all going to be in the same boat if we can't pay rent or mortgages or any of that. So hopefully the second round of SBA loans will go through. I applied on the first round. Um, didn't get anything on the loan side. I didn't get anything. So hopefully that new round of SBA loans, I'm going to be working on that here pretty soon.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, what are you doing to keep busy?" I'm doing a lot to keep busy. I'm working on trying to get loans, working on trying to figure out what other avenues are for you, like you, my coaches, to figure out, because let's face it, you guys are independent contractors and you guys aren't making money, and I don't believe you can collect unemployment as an independent contractor. So you guys are in between a rock and a hard spot. So I'm still working here trying to fight for not only me but my coaches and my staff to figure out how can I help you guys. I haven't been successful, but I won't quit. I won't stop. So
Yeah.
I'm,
And
I'm working on doing all that.
yeah, and almost everybody, Daron, that is owed money, that didn't get money back. And those are
Right.
independent contractors, because we end up having to pay. We're not getting money back. We just gotta, they take a big chunk out of our pockets every April, and that's it. That's just
Right.
the way it is. Those are the people, as far as stimulus checks, those are the people that haven't gotten their stimulus checks yet.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and
I don't
um
I don't know one person personally
yeah.
that has gotten theirs. I haven't gotten mine. Nobody that I know in my family has gotten any. So we're all still waiting for the stimulus checks. So let's hope they come in this week.
That would be ideal for people like me, because like I have sponsors, thank God, but I finance most of my personal ventures.
Right.
Thank God. Hey, you've been awesome with me. Is that a BVNE hat or Get Notice?
That's a BVNE hat.
That's Beach Volleyball National Events. You want one of those hats, man? You got to get with Daron. Message her in some way. I got a hat like that to go with these beautiful baby blue eyes.
There you go.
Hey, in due time, the Yankee hat's gone, and I'm gonna be wearing that every podcast.
You're
at
going to
least,
be wearing
at
this
least,
BVNE hat right here.
yeah,
It's
at
beautiful.
least for the volleyball episodes.
Good.
So I'm glad that the people close to us are doing the smart thing. I'm glad you guys are healthy and well. You look terrific, by the way.
Oh,
I
thank you.
don't know if this coronavirus, I gained a little weight, but
I'm sure we all
Kelly and
have.
I Kelly and I, we're gonna put up a video next week. I call it the Military Ring of Fire.
Uh-huh.
It's basically Kelly and I are doing a 10 stations drill, where each station is an exercise. That station is mountain climbers. That station is the box jump. That station's push-ups. And every 60 seconds, you change stations. So it's a circular thing, and you go around the world 3 times. It's a 30-minute workout. So it's
Oh,
the 10.
you're gonna be done at the end of that.
Yeah. So the levels go by the music. If you're doing hip hop music, the level's moderate. If you're doing house music, it's faster reps because you're going to the beat of the music.
Right.
That's the advanced level. That's me, because I've implemented it from the military, and I used it. I was the head coach of City College. That's how we got in shape. They did
Got
12.
it.
They did 12 stations. You want to hear something cool? I put a garbage can in the middle of the gym, and no one knew what the garbage can was for. They're like, Oh, and they're like, okay, interesting. And then I put on the house music. I'm coming home, coming home. And then 3-person groups. They're switching stations. I'm like, switch. I get the stopwatch. Switch, switch. There's like a 5-second switch from each station. Switch, and then by the third station, someone goes in the middle of the thing and throws up in the garbage can, and
Oh,
everybody's like, oh, because the switches and the reps are so blindingly fast, and if you're not used to doing it, if you spend almost all your time in the weight room and don't do dynamic tension or calisthenics or a mixture of that, the first session you have you feel lightheadedness and you become dizzy where you feel like you have to throw up, and
oh,
I've never experienced that. um, I have this unnatural heart rate. My heart, I can run all day and all night. My heart just beats the same way. It doesn't, it doesn't raise or whatever. So I can do things longer than most people. That's just a genetics thing or whatever. That's just how I'm built. So it's never
right.
happened to me. But and Kelly, who's always in shape, she's doing really well with it. So that's one of our ways to do it. And I notice everyone's doing all these exercise and these yoga things on video and having people follow. Bameso, the team I set for a few years ago, the all Dominican team, they literally have a workout, a social distance. Everyone's like 10 feet from each other, and everyone's everyone's exercising at the same time. I don't know if they're doing it in Dominican Republic. So, but
Gotcha.
it's one of those things where I gain weight, but it's not fat.
Right.
You look great. That's why that was the point I was trying to make.
Oh, it's the makeup.
I guess something. I don't know. Yeah, we're also losing our sun, aren't you? You're a little. This is the whitest I've ever seen you.
I know. And now that the sun's out, I'll be outside a little more.
Yeah, this is the whitest you've seen me since I moved here. Yeah,
I
I'm the
know.
vampire of the club.
I know. Yes, definitely.
Hey, so before I go somewhere else, or before we go, period, talk to me about your thoughts on some of the coaches. I'm gonna start with Oz Borges.
Oh my God, I love Oz. He's very fast. He's very energetic. He's very exciting. He's got the salsa, the Latin. We call him Oz the Wizard. So
Yeah.
I will often put kids with him that need work on their platform, that don't have the right footing, that extra little bit of something to get over the edge. Oz
Mm.
gets those girls. So
Yeah, Oz also.
Oz is fun.
Yeah, Oz also showed a lot of people that, as far as styles of coaching is concerned, that he has a lot of old school virtues that people think don't exist anymore because they don't think it's productive. And no, it's a real thing. You have to have. I'm not going to sound over the top here, but you have to have a certain level of thick skin when that
Right.
man's coaching. His
Yes,
his
you
crit-
do.
he is he's not an idiot. But he is about tough love. Like, I'll give you an
But
example. One of our other
he's
coaches you have.
doing it to get you better. That's his tough love. Is he really wants to get these kids better?
Yeah, it's not for his own gratification or for his own
Right.
ego. He is a legit Cuban, a hard
Yeah.
working, like I said, old school style coaching style, and everyone that's played under him significantly better. He's a skill Nazi too. So,
Yes.
and then you have Jaron Barreto, who he keeps the mood light, and the kids have this unofficial contract. If they come on time, they keep their professionalism. He has fun drills. He has people understand the why of the drills, and I like his style too. So this is an example
Yeah.
of two different coaches in Endless Summer who have different approaches that produce similar results.
Jaron's a smooth operator, and he demands people's respect. And if you don't pay attention, I've only caught it one time. And I was really shocked when you have to run the dunes, the hills on the at Manhattan or Hermosa. I'm like, oh, what they do? He goes, no, they just talk too much. So he made them run. So he keeps their respect, and he's an amazing coach. Kids love him.
Yeah, I like his approach because he gets them right away.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Some people like to test the waters. Some kids like to test the waters to see who, how they can treat their coaches. Because like for some reason, some of these girls they get so good so fast, they think they have it all figured out. And
right,
if
right, right.
you're a coach whose style or what you're teaching them is not consistent with how they learn the game from someone else, then all of a sudden they want to decide in their mind what kind of respect that they have for the coach that goes from general to specific. So I'll give you an example. This for me, there's when I got here, I learned that there's two kind of coaches that they have to respect. There's Dane Blanton, right? There's remember Anna Collier, former coach or whatever, USC. There's Gus. There are people that that their pedigree commands their respect because they've been in the game as players and this and that, and they're like, oh no, I ain't playing it with this guy. And the second kind of coach that people respect are the ones that they just fear. All right, that's where I come into play. All right, I'm the guy with the New York hat. I'm the guy with the New York hat. I'm not the guy with like the traditional West Coast South Bay coaching experience, though my experience is just as vast, if not more. So for the people that don't know me, that are like, oh, I can get away with talking to that guy, but not Dane, they find out right away. So they come in and they're like, okay, that coach I'm not going to do that with because I respect him. And that coach, I'm not going to do that because he's crazy. I have, for the last few years, accepted the latter because I knew because not respecting or thinking you get to do whatever you want is not an option. That's not on the table. So it was one of those things where until people got to know me, I made sure that they were scared to death of me. And some girls that rubs the wrong way, like, I got other options. I don't want to mess with this guy, and that's fine. And then there's some girls the ones that stick it out, they're like, oh my God, he's my favorite coach ever. I'll even name names like Kaylee Jones. Kaylee Jones loves me. I'm her favorite coach. Serena likes me very much. Natalie respects me. So between Jaron, Oz, myself, Rob McLean, we get to him, this just young, beautiful mind that's very calming, kind of takes his time, and he's one of the guys that the girls have to be patient, because if they're patient, they'll understand it better. And in this generation of girls, if they understand it better, they're more productive.
Right. Well, and with Rob, he's my specialty coach, because when we need somebody that we got to get up to speed, let's say it's serving. I can't remember who it was, but there was one girl that couldn't serve, and we're like, okay, here, go to Rob serving. And we turn around and, halfway through the practice, she's serving balls over the net. So with Rob,
he's so good, huh?
He just breaks things down for the kids that they get. And he's so soft-spoken, and he's so patient, and he works with them really well. So when I get somebody, because you're always going to have odd numbers, and we have, different levels on each court. But if we have somebody who can't fit on this court or is in between that court, sometimes, they'll go to Rob, and, Rob's got to work with them to get them where they can get up to par, so we can put them on another court with the other girls. Because I really like keeping the levels at the highest they can be. And Rob is a big contributor at helping keep the levels at the highest, because we give him the kids that need the work the most. And he takes them and does what he does a good job with them.
He really does. I've never seen anyone that produces faster results than him. You put them on, and like 10 minutes later, they're doing it,
He's like, you just do it like this. That's all you do. You just got to do it like this. And it's like, oh, okay, good job. But he's very encouraging. And I think that encouragement that he gives goes a long way for these kids. It's a real treat to watch him coach the young girls.
Yeah. Also, he's also living proof that you don't have to have more years of experience to be a more productive coach. You just have to work smart. You just have to see who your work, cater to the individuals, right? Because we're not machines, right? We're people. Not everybody's gonna jump the same, or her training. This one's gonna jump higher. This one is like 110 pounds, soaking wet. She's light-footed on the sand. There are some girls who have a lower center of gravity, and Rob's very good at playing to girls' limitations, which is very, very tough to do in juniors, because their ceiling they haven't even scratched the top of the ceiling yet. They don't know their limitations yet. So, which is big. The biggest challenge in coaching juniors is and you're very good at telling certain girls, like, don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. right?
Right.
Because there's some coaches that are like, okay, you're short, you're never gonna be an outside hitter, you're only gonna be a libero, and that's nonsense. Just say, hey, listen, you're short. Okay, the average height of an outside hitter for indoor is 5'11" or whatever, and this and that. If you still want to be an outside hitter, this is what you have to do. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. All right. And if it's a tie, you know it's going to go to the big girl. So you know you got to be better than them. So I like the way our club is run because you don't tell people they can't do something. You just tell them to measure the path of difficulty and say, this is an easier path. What's your pleasure? What do you
Right.
want? What do you really want?
Yep. Exactly. That's how we roll.
Do we leave anybody out? That's our four coaches. Who else?
That's our no. You know what? We Lacey got
Lacey
injured.
Fuller.
Lacey Fuller got injured, and she's been slightly active. Is her Instagram handle? I think it's her Instagram handle. Slightly active, and she's been getting better. I've been watching her. She was with our youngest group, and we were growing that group, and we were getting bigger. And then all of a sudden, she took one in the face, and I think it's been quite some time. I'm not sure about months. I'm not sure about how many months,
Yeah,
but it's been
yeah.
over six
Concussions are
months.
weird, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time. So she's got a concussion. I wouldn't leave her out of the picture because I do feel when she comes back, she will probably want to start coaching a little bit. So don't forget about Lacey.
No, of course.
Yeah,
Lacey Fuller, uh, player at former indoor player at Penn State University, starting libero.
right,
She won two chips, got a couple of rings to show that her playing resume is on par, and she's actually emerged to a pretty decent coach. I actually like her style, and it was also
right,
important to have. We got a girls club, and it was an all guy staff. You had the worker bees, you had the drones. Of course, you're the queen bee. So we needed some female talent in our club, and I was very very happy to have her around.
yeah,
She got dinged in the head by Kelly Clay's
right,
and a practice and a drill. So and concussions are tricky like that. Some people they don't have symptoms and they have one, and some people are just it's this residual effect, and it's like, so when is
right,
it gonna go away? And they're like, we don't know. It's like, you don't
right.
know.
Well, we're hoping that she gets back soon, and we're hoping, fingers crossed. Going back to when we might be able to get back, we know for sure that the city of Hermosa Beach is going through the end of May, and they have communicated with me. They have sent me bills with the zero balance on it for our permits. So hopefully, I'm very hopeful that for June I'll get a bill and there'll be a actual amount to pay as opposed to a zero. So they are letting us know that we're still in their system, and when all this gets back to normal. Although if we're able to get back in June, June will be our only month, depending on what BVCA does. So
Yeah.
if BVCA is able to hold a tournament, then and if AAU is able to hold their tournaments, and AVP is able to hold their tournaments in just the month of July in Hermosa, we won't be having practices. We'll be coaching at all these events because
Right.
all of
Yep.
our girls will go. We'll probably do some coaching right before that, but July will be mostly coaching at the live events. That's our plan. If it doesn't happen, we'll just have to wait and see. So, I'm hopeful that by June, as a club, Endless Summer will be able to be back at the Hermosa Beach Pier training. So I guess we won't know until the end of May, and then as soon as I find out, I'll be lightning speed. I'll be contacting everybody to let them know we're back, we're back, we're back. And I know you coaches are ready and willing and able to get back with us. So we just have to kind of wait and see on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go, I wanted to plug Chris Hanneman. Chris Hanneman early this January got me on loaner. He's a coach at Seattle for Ohana. Seattle-based girls there, but I don't know what's in the drinking water there that makes someone like 6'2" when she's like 13 or 14, but they're growing them big out there. Skill set's on. He's a highly competitive coach. Of
Right.
course, one of our contemporaries. So I had to give a shout out to him. He came down to Huntington Beach and didn't have coaches, so he yeah, got permission from the boss. He picks me up on loaner, and I just wanted to give him a big shout. Him and his girls out there, and I hope they're doing well. Big shout out to BCVA. Tony Bennett, Andrew Bennett, who's been our competitor, but at the same time with this COVID thing, it really shows that we're all in it together and we all want what's right, and that's just the maturation and the prosperity of these great young ladies who aspire to be college athletes.
Right. Yeah.
Big up to West Coast Volleyball, got the Wex, got the Shooting Over. Big up to the handsome I'm Gay For You, Matt Olson, Matty O, that's Wave. And of course, big up to Endless Summer Beach Volleyball, our little tiny group on north of the pier who just produces savages. Big up to Kaylee Jones, Serena, all of our girls, Natalie, anyone whose first name is Ava. Love you and miss all of you dearly.
Yep, miss everybody. I'm hoping that I can give you guys some good news. I will be sending out an email May 15th as soon as I get word from the city. I'm sure they're probably going to push me back to May 30th, but maybe I'll have some news on May 15th. I don't know. So I just keep updating everybody.
Yeah. Hey, an hour goes fast, Daron. I guess
I do want to close with,
please.
If we all do our part and we all stay home, or when we're out, we all wear our mask and we're practicing social distancing. The more we do that, the better the chances we're going to have of getting back out there sooner. So I know it's tempting this weekend to go out there with all the great weather that we're having, but if you're going to be out, please make sure you're practicing good habits and be safe so we can get back out there soon. We don't want anyone sick. We don't want it. We hope that everyone stays healthy, and we want to be back soon.
No doubt. Also plug in some of the websites, some of the clubs, maybe from out of state. Maybe they might want to come to California for like a, maybe a field trip and maybe some of the Get Notice beach tournaments. What's the website again?
Oh, it's so it's gnbv.net. I have so many websites I forget. So it's gnbv.net. And then it's BVNE.org. So either one of those websites will get you to all of our information. The Get Notice Beach Volleyball website is our college recruiting showcase. And if you guys want to get your highlight video into me to get us up on the YouTube channel, which is Get Notice Beach Volleyball, just go to gnbv.net and follow the instructions, and we'll get you guys up, and then we'll schedule a interview with you. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
I've got some interviews coming up Friday, so we're going to have some new player interview profiles up on Friday, and we're going to roll that program out. People are going to be excited about it because it's still a way for people to get noticed while we're in this downtime, and we still have a little bit of downtime left. So we anticipate that we're going to be getting really busy with those player profiles and interviews up here. Really
Definitely.
soon.
So plugging in BVNE. Plugging in Endless Summer Beach Volleyball, girls who are here for the summer for the recruiting showcases, just with parents want to train with somebody. There's no coaching staff as far as chemistry that's better than us. I say that with a heightened level of chauvinistic conceit. And competitiveness. That's just the competitive me. I think we're the best. So plugging in us, come play with us. Also plugging in NY Varsity Sports, watching me. Watching you.
Yes.
For all of you at home, for all of you watching, thank you for joining us. Of course, it's going to be available on iTunes and Spotify, as well as my YouTube handle, which is okay. That's not pushing as much because YouTube wants me to pay to promote it, and eventually I'll do that. Facebook, NY Varsity Sports on Facebook. Like that page because that's where the most traffic and activity is coming from.
Oh.
And that's all I got for Daron Forbes, Program Director, Get Notice Beach Volleyball, founder of Endless Summer Beach Volleyball. I am Jason DeBeas, and for her and myself, I say so long.
Bye.
We're out.
Miss you, everybody. Can't wait to get back.
Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.